Hello friends, welcome back to Astrology Today. My name is Mel Rose, and today I want to preview for you the coming 10-day segment that is June 1st through the 10th, 2023. This is the 16th Decan or 10-day segment of our year since January 1st, and it also represents the second 10 days of the Sun's transit in the land of Gemini. When the Sun is transiting in the land of Gemini, our outer lives, especially work, social, and civic, come to revolve around allyship, our cohorts and our collectives, and what we can do with them in terms of planning, sharing ideas, telling stories, collaboration, so that we can envision a better possible future together. And the moon will start in a waxing gibbous in Scorpio, and we will go through the full moon in Sagittarius in this decan and make it all the way to that third quarter moon in Pisces. So this is going to be a little bit of increase to that culmination on Saturday, and then it's all going to be a lot of creative decrease, considering what you can let go of and starting to shed what no longer works for you. But this first day, Thursday, June the 1st, we start still in that culmination phase. It's a couple days till the full moon. So this is when we are tying up the actions we have to make, completing the actions that we have to make to fulfill some goals and plans that we have made, so that we'll have something on that full moon to look back and say, hey, I got things done this month. Yay me. Congratulations, right? Also on Thursday, Mars will culminate its quincunx to Saturn, and this is, your personal sense of initiative and your overall drive for stability, security, the materialistic things that you need to feel supported in life. And so this can be really, your quincunx is a vibe for adjustment. So this can really point to, especially those of us who like to say that we worked, that we get a feeling of fulfillment out of saying that we did work, right? It's a reminder not to be all work and no play, okay? Gemini, Sun in Gemini, it's time to rest. It's time to chat and dance and play and sing with your friends and your family and the people that whose company you enjoy, okay? And it's time to enjoy yourself. Make some room in your schedule to take a little time off and just enjoy yourself. Then on Friday, we still have a waxing, culminating moon in Scorpio. Scorpio, when we're culminating, Scorpio is like a power driver. It really helps us focus in on what it is that we need to get completed. And I think that's a great place to be when we're in this final waxing day before the moon. Venus is going to culminate a trine with Neptune that day, and that's going to be with us through about the 11th of June. So this is really romantic time. It's a dreamy vibe. It makes it easy for us to connect with our friends, our loved ones, and even just with people in our community on the levels of heart and of spirit. Venus and Neptune are said to be like similar in vibration, but Venus would be the lower octave and Neptune would be the higher octave. So Venus, whereas Venus is about love and connection in the material world, in the realm of reality that we all experience together. And Neptune is really more that idealism and that feeling of connection to the all of everything, that feeling of connection to spirit that allows us to have an enduring love, not just for the people we keep close, but for humanity and life in general. So with that trine vibration, very much positive, easy grace when it comes to connecting with people. Again, not just on the, on the earthly love level, but on the spiritual love level too. It's a big as above, so below sort of romantic, loving vibe. And then on Saturday, we have that full moon in Sagittarius, okay? And we don't have really any other aspects culminating that day, but the full moon in Sagittarius, when does that come about that day? It will be at 10:42 p.m. Central Standard Time, because I'm in Arkansas in the United States, friends. So that evening we'll have a nice full moon in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is mutable fire, so it's about it's very much about being driven, but it's about being driven toward a bunch of different subjects, right? just a general seeking, a wanting to take in all information, all wisdom, all universal truths that we can find out. Okay, so we have very adventurous hearts when the moon is in Sagittarius, and the full moon is a time to celebrate, looking back on what we have culminated, on what we have achieved so far. And, you know, with Sagittarius in there, it's also looking back on the journey and the lessons that we have learned and sort of celebrating how far we have come as human beings. And then coming up on Sunday, that moon begins to wane again. It will still be in Sagittarius for Sunday, June 4th. So Sagittarius on the waning side of the moon, now this is a dispersing energy. It's a sort of a fiery energy that says, okay, here are the things that I need, and here are the things that I can now begin to do without, right? Sagittarius focuses very specifically on things that help us feel like we're growing, like we're getting bigger and better. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, so it wants us to have more adventure, love, experiences, nice things, right? And Sagittarius is very much about that. But with that fiery vibe, it's also able to cut ties and really determine succinctly what it is that is not part of our journey or our adventure anymore. So that's where we're going to be with that waning moon in Sagittarius on Sunday. Mercury culminates its conjunct to Uranus that day. This means that when we look into the sky, Mercury and Uranus are in the same place from our perspective. You can't see Uranus without a special telescope. So definitely, you know, you can see where Mercury is and you could go, oh, Uranus must be right there nearby if you're looking with the naked eye. So Mercury and Uranus come together. This is your personal thoughts, plans, and communications with sort of an overall, an overall sort of jokester quality on the part of the universe that brings about changes in perspective, a little bit of enlightenment, a little bit of upgrades in our technology and our understanding of things. So this is a time when we may get some, conjunct brings intensity. So this is a time where we might get some stimulating new perspectives to help us make our plans and share our ideas. Sun in Gemini. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, so the Sun is answering to Mercury right now too. So we want to share ideas. We want to create something that is electrifying, original, inspiring. You don't have to do it alone. It's very much a time for collaboration. So if you have a partner to work with and you've got an inspiring idea, now's a good time to be sort of, fleshing it out with the most, sort of exciting, advanced, modern technology and approaches that we have. Then coming up on Monday, so we get through Sunday here. Monday, June the 5th, the moon will be a waning gibbous in Capricorn. This is when we grow a little bit more practical in our approach to things. Okay, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. It's a very solid vibe. It's very interested in just doing work and getting results, right? So, Capricorn's got the plan and is going to initiate the work that provides the support in our lives. And with the moon waning, this is a practical plan to get rid of things. It's a practical plan to sort of tidy up, to sort of sweep away the things from our lives that are no longer serving a purpose for us. And things, especially when we're in an earth sign here, it's about that physical stuff that's cluttering up your creative spaces. We want to not necessarily have to push it out the door today, but really start giving consideration to the things that are really just weighing you down and making it hard for you to get your work done, right? And on Monday, we see Venus move on into Leo. And Venus is going to be in Leo for 4 months. Okay, so let's talk about Venus and Leo. Venus in Leo is, this is our loving hearts, what we like to attract to ourselves, what we try to draw into ourselves, what we're trying to receive from the world in terms of regard, acknowledgement, love, affection, attention, gifts, compensation, that kind of stuff. Anything that you like, love, and can't get enough of, that's what Venus is about in your personal life. And when it moves into Leo, Leo is, the lion. It is the sun. Leo is represented by the sun, which is in Gemini, right? So So this is a very showy, like this is a kind of loving vibe that can't help but show off a little bit. If you've got a lover, you probably think they're very good looking. You want to take them out and sort of show off, like, oh, I've got this very good looking person who loves me, right? That kind of thing. So this is very much a time when there are themes around, in our relationships to, especially romantic, but also with our friendships and also our relationship to finance, our money, okay? This is where themes of sort of warm, loving, giving vibe come. There's a lot of pride in the people and things that we love. There's a lot of loyalty to the people that we love at this time. We like to give and receive admiration when Venus is in Leo. And, on the unbalanced side, we can encounter a little bit of like overstating how we feel just for the effect, right? Or being a little too extravagant in our displays of affection, or in our displays of sort of consumption, like being a little extravagant in the things that we spend money on. So those are things to look out for. And Venus is going to go retrograde on July 23rd. So that's about a month and a week away. Yeah, month and 2 weeks away. So about a month and a half from now, July 23rd, Venus is going to go retrograde. It will be retrograde through September 4th, and then it will be free of its shadow again on October 8th. So this is really a time from June 5th through about the 10th of October when we are going to be dealing with Venus themes of Venus Leo themes, okay, of warmth, of giving, of pride, but also sometimes of extravagance and overstatement, showing off. And in retrograde, we're going to be sort of reflecting on, what those ways of being in love are doing for us. And we'll get lots of opportunities to talk about that as it goes. Venus is also making an opposition to Pluto today, culminating an opposition to Pluto today. And that's pretty common when a planet moves on to another sign. Then I'm really trying hard not to and can you tell? So it's very common when a planet moves into another sign that they make a aspect with Pluto, and in this case, Venus is in opposition to Pluto. It's actually getting ready to make a conjunct with Mars very soon too. So Venus in opposition to Pluto puts our relationships under pressure. Okay, there's some power plays. There might be some fighting, arguing, drama. They'll struggle for dominance within the relationship, whether that's your romantic life or your friendship life. People that you care deeply about. And it can also be like, our finances are under pressure, and, we want to do something powerful to try to create a better income, or create a better financial relationship, create a better financial trajectory for ourselves. But, it might be like a struggle to overcome some sort of it's a struggle to overcome impulses that we want to get control of things, and we don't necessarily always have to be in control. But Venus in Leo does. Venus in Leo definitely wants to be in power. So Venus in Leo opposite to Pluto, just be aware that we're all under the influence of Venus in Leo. And so we all want to sort of own our power. We want to have our personal sovereignty, and we want to have that acknowledged and respected within our relationships. But that doesn't mean that we have to struggle with our loved ones to show who's sort of on top, right? Because when Venus is in Leo, we're kind of all the king of the mountain, so we don't get to really play that game without having a problem. Okay. Then we move on to Friday, June 9th. So we're skipping from Monday to Friday here because it's mostly just moon aspects in there. There's not a lot of very significant aspects happening. But on Friday, Mercury sextile Neptune culminates. This again is your personal day-to-day thoughts, plans, and communications, how you think, how you talk to people. And Neptune is really more about your connection to the all of everything. It's very spiritual. It's very intuitive. It's kind. It's loving. It's deep. Okay. And this is a time when we are encouraged to relax, to retreat from the sort of hubbub of day-to-day life, to get a little playful. Sun in Gemini, ruled by Mercury. Get a little playful, co-create, commune with your friends and loved ones, but also commune with spirit in whatever way you do that, right? And be open to receiving the intuitive guidance that Neptune has to offer your communicating brain and mouth right now. Okay, so this is also a time when the company of your loved ones will be like a balm to your soul. So, you know, seek out those people who understand you, who hear you when you speak, right? And if you can't be in their presence, at least in their presence, at least have a conversation with them so that you can feel the soothing, and they can feel soothed as well by your attention to them. And then on Saturday, we reach that third quarter moon in Pisces. And the third quarter moon in Pisces, this is when we shift gears out of thinking about what it is that we're going to push out and really get to work on doing the physical labor, doing the active release of stuff and things, yes, but thoughts, attitudes, dispositions. We're in Pisces here, which is ruled by Jupiter and Neptune. So this is very much about releasing emotional attachments as well, or emotional crutches that we use to get things that we want, but that are really not working, maybe in our relationships with others or with ourselves. Okay. And while we begin the work of actively releasing the stuff that we no longer can use in our creative spaces, the sun is culminating a sextile to Chiron. So that sextile is going to linger with us through about the 16th. And this brings about an ambition for problem solving, right? This is ideal because the sun is in Gemini. We can solve problems. We can collaborate. We think very clearly. We have a very sort of creative approach to collating the information we're given. Chiron is very much about healing, and especially Chiron in Aries is about healing those old wounds of exclusion, or, you know, sort of old wounds of being put on the spot or embarrassed or left out. So we have this ambition right now for problem solving. We're being given tools. That's what the sextile means. These two planets are working together. We're being given tools to rectify standing imbalances, standing problems, old wounds and hurts, especially where it comes to our self-image and our sense of inclusion out in the world. So this is a very positive vibe. It says that, you know, when you do get out to your work, social, and civic spaces, you'll be able to recognize situations where you might have before hesitated to get involved, but now you feel at ease in doing so because you sort of know how to overcome that fear of exclusion or that fear of being sort of put on the spot or embarrassed. All right, and so that is Decan 16, and that is June 1st through the 10th, 2023. Thank you all so much for showing up for this video, and I will see you in the next one.